Kia ora, it's Bill here. So what we're going to do is have a real quick look at doing a simple program to kickstart you with the ESP32. And you'll notice that I've got a little program running at the moment, and there's an LED flashing here, this little blue LED. Now this blue LED is actually connected to pin 2 of the microcontroller. So that's sort of D2 down here as it's referred to. Let's now go over to our program and just figure out how we can get this to work, okay? So here's our connections here for our microcontroller. Now notice I put the 100 ohm resistors in here. Okay, I'll just pull one of those out of this. So here's one of the resistors. Okay, it's a 100 ohm resistor. You can tell that by kind of brown, black, brown. 1, 0 with one more 0 makes it a 100 ohms. And then the little tolerance down there looks to me like it might be gold. Okay, 5%. Hard for me to tell with my eyes. Okay, now then, when I cut these, I bend them over and I cut about 8 millimeters. Okay, I do not cut 10 millimeters, that's a bit long. I do not cut about 5 millimeters. Okay, you've got to get pretty good at estimating about 8 millimeters. That's the right length for it to go into the board. And you'll notice now as I stick them in the board, okay, what I've got here is the output wire of the microcontroller. It's coming along, it's going into connected to one column, which is one side of the resistor. The other column, this side of the resistor, is connected to this pin of the LED, the negative of the LED. Okay, so now we've got a circuit that comes from this grey wire through the 100 ohm resistor and then goes off to this LED here. So that's why they're in two columns, and these grey wires are in one offset column, and the resistor bridges the gap between them. So now it's in the circuit. Okay. Well, let's have a look at the code for this. So let's go back to the code. What we've got here is I've got Arduino set up. Okay. Now the first thing you'll need to know about Arduino is setting it all up. You need board. You need to know that you've got the ESP32 boards. I've already installed them, but I'll show you how. Boards Manager here. Open Boards Manager, ESP32. Right, now it's going to go away and do a search for that. And hey, I've already installed it. Now you'll get the install here and then you want to install it, okay? Now the next thing is after it's installed, we want to make sure that we've got the right sort of upload speed, 921,600, okay, flash frequency, 80 megahertz, no debug, and COM port. Now you've got to choose your COM port. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to know what your COM port is, so what you do in Windows, I can't help you with Apple computers, sorry, run your device manager. Just go to your Windows and do a little search and look for device manager, okay, and then you'll find that this window here will pop up and you can see which ports you've got connected, and this is your ESP32. This is your Silicon Labs CP210X USB to UART bridge COM6. So that's your ESP32. That's the little chip on the board which connects you to the computer. And so that's what you're going to do here. You're going to go Tools, and you're going to make sure that this is set to COM6 because it's ESP32. If you don't connect it to the right one, it won't work. Okay, and now what we're going to do is I've got some software here. First thing I've got is I've defined LED2 as pin 2, because I've already told you that the blue onboard LED is pin 2 of the microcontroller connected to that pin, and so we're just going to give it a human readable name, LED2. Okay, I could call this blue LED. Okay, I could call it anything I like. Okay, blue LED. So now I'm going to use blue LEDs, and typically when you're using these macros, everything is capitalized because it's not a variable, it's just a human readable name which is going to get changed during the code. So I've got that there. Now as we go down through the program, you'll see that I've got a function which sets up everything, and this function is run once. The program turns on, the power is applied to the microcontroller, and this function is run once, and it says pin mode LED2. I've got to change that now, so I want to make sure that the blue LED is set up as an output. If we don't set it up as an output, then it won't be able to turn on the LED. Okay. Now then we go down here, and this loop code is run continuously. It's what we call an automata. So that means it's automatic. It goes on forever and ever and ever until you take the power away. And you can see here that what I've got is a digital write command, which is writing to my blue LED and making it high, which is turning on the LED. Okay, so this will turn on the LED, and then we've got a delay of 50, as 50 is milliseconds. Okay, and then we've got digital write, which is again turning off, now in this case low, making blue LED pin low. So that just makes pin 2 low. And the reason I use blue LED instead of 2 is because it's much more human readable. Okay, I could put 2 in there, and I could put 2 in there, and I could put 2 in there. But of course, then it's not so human readable. So I like to use these macros up here. Okay. Now you can see that I've got it on for 50 milliseconds and off for 950 milliseconds, which means it's going to flash at the rate of 1 flash every second. Note if I'd put 1000 here, then it wouldn't be a flashing rate of 1000 of 1 second. Okay, it'd be a flashing rate of 1050 milliseconds. So now our program, when it's all ready, we can just upload it like that, and you'll see that it does a compile first, tunes our C code into machine code, then it does this connecting thing. Okay, oh, it's connected and it's written, man, gone. Okay, let's just have a look at all this stuff that happened. So what happened here? Okay, so it did its connecting, it does these dots and dashes for a while, and then it says that, hey, it's connected, and it's going to program it at 921.600, okay, and 4 meg flash size, and then it writes in the data, which is our program, is going into the program memory of the microcontroller. 14%, 28, or 100%, it's written it, right, and then it does a double check, and then it does a hard reset, and our pin is flashing. Okay, so we can just do something really simple like this. I'm going to change this to one flash every 2 seconds, just to show you how that works. Okay, so now if you're watching the let's go back over to our microcontroller itself. The microcontroller's flashing, it stopped flashing, it's doing the programming at the moment, and now you can see that it's doing a flash every 2 seconds. Okay, so that's how we change that code. So hopefully this has been a useful little introduction, kickstart you into the microcontroller. The next thing you could do is actually just say flash these 3 LEDs. Okay, that would be a cool thing to do. Cheers.